This is a historic day for Tesla. Tesla stock is up very roughly 15% in one single day as Elon Musk makes history. And if you like what you see here, make sure to click the like button right now and subscribe if you haven't yet. Why is the stock up so much? I'll go through everything, and this video will be more political, so just giving you a heads up, because that's why the stock is up so much. As I'm recording this video, it's extremely clear that Trump has won, and Kamala has already called Trump to congratulate him on his win. You need 270 to win, and there are a few states that haven't really been fully counted yet in terms of votes, but even those are actually leaning towards Trump. So it's more like Trump is at 301 already, and if Arizona goes to Trump, he will be at 312. This is not just a victory, this is a landslide. And on top of that, Trump actually won the popular vote. This is a big deal because Republicans almost never win the popular vote, they just win the Electoral College. And yet, 4 months ago, I predicted Trump landslide victory is now overwhelmingly likely, and of course I was right. I make very few big predictions, but when it comes to the big ones, not the small ones, but the big ones, important ones, I'm right. Because I think it through very deeply, and I'm very good at solving difficult problems. I was in the Math Olympics, and I was really good at that. I was in the top 20 nationally in my home country. But this following prediction, I'm a lot more confident in, actually, and I was already very confident about Trump winning. But I predict that Tesla will go to at least $1,000, actually quite a bit more than that. You just need to give it time and FSD will be solved. But there's so much more with Tesla than just FSD. There's the energy business, there's the auto business, there's the Tesla bot business. There's just so much opportunity. And if you give it some more time, Elon Musk is going to think of multiple other things. We have seen potential speculation about Tesla working on an airplane. If you noticed, there was a video released by Tesla, and in one of the phones on the video, it said Plaid Airlines. I'm not saying that Tesla is going to make airplanes, but if Tesla does, it will do well and it will dominate the industry as well. If you were following me very closely, then you have seen me actually make this prediction multiple times that Trump will win. I didn't say Trump might win, Trump will probably win. I said Trump will win. The closer we got to the election, the higher my confidence got. And I'm also saying that Tesla will go to at least $1,000. Not maybe, not possibly, will go to $1,000. Now, of course, in the stock market, there's always some black swan event that can happen and change the course of history. But apart from that, I really believe that Tesla will go to $1,000 per share. Elon Musk believes that Tesla will become the most valuable company on earth, and I believe him. And it's definitely a bad idea to bet against Elon Musk, and he has just proven that again with his backing of Trump. If Elon Musk would not have bought Twitter, I am not sure if I would have made the prediction that Trump would have won. I might say, oh, maybe he will win, but not overwhelmingly likely that there will be a landslide victory for Trump. I probably would not have said that, and maybe he would have ended up losing. I have a very long list of why I believed that Trump would have a landslide victory, but if you are smart and you really thought it through very deeply, it was obvious. It wasn't obvious though to people that were overwhelmed by emotion and their strong biases, which I understand, everyone is human. But if you have been a Tesla stock investor, you know to not bet against Elon Musk. And betting against Trump was betting against Elon Musk. Elon Musk definitely made history by endorsing Trump so openly, and that certainly helped Trump. Elon Musk now is going to go into government. He will clean up the government. He will make it a lot more efficient. And in the process, he will take steps to make sure that Tesla is no longer harassed by regulatory agencies. But for example, when there's a Tesla recall, it's not going to be called a recall, it's going to be called a software update. And while attacks on Elon Musk may not slow down, the actual effect or the actual things that they can do, for example, with investigations and stuff like that, I think all of that is largely going to go away, which is very bullish for Tesla, because that will make Elon more focused on things that actually matter instead of trying to defend himself. I can't imagine what Ross Gerber is going through right now. Hopefully there's no meltdown or anything like that happening over there. Due to excessive regulations and lawfare being on, it's going to be really good for Tesla, and that Tesla stock is going to explode. Some investors are making predictions like the stock is going to hit $350 by the end of the year. The moment it was clear that Trump won, Dan Ives said that the stock will benefit and added $40 to $50 right off the bat. He definitely got that one right. And if Tesla really solves FSD, makes it safer than human driving anytime in the next 3-ish years, it would be much easier for Elon Musk and Tesla to get a federal regulatory approval and roll out FSD quite a bit faster. And markets overall today are up, so the markets are loving this outcome. Elon Musk was on Tucker Carlson yesterday and he was asked, so how much pressure has there been on you to shut down X? Sure, it was a lot of pressure, says Elon, but it pales by comparison with President Trump, who they tried to kill twice, bankrupt and imprisoned for eternity. Elon Musk replied with, true to this post from Stephen Mark Ryan, the only people surprised by Trump's landslide victory are the ones who live in a bubble and don't know they live in a bubble. Elon Musk turning to the other side really started around 2020. There was this person that said a certain thing to Elon Musk. She was a politician, and Elon Musk acknowledged the message, but I do have a theory. Maybe all she meant was that she just wanted to have kids with him, which would be one of the biggest misunderstandings of all time. With this election, what was also crazy was that even someone like Joe Rogan, who, by the way, was a Bernie Sanders supporter, he actually endorsed Trump at the end. There's just a sign after sign after sign that Trump is going to win. Just like there's a sign after sign after sign that Tesla stock is going to explode in the long term. There are just so many of them. And yet, many people on Wall Street are still refusing to believe it. For example, like Tony Saganaki, or that guy who says, but Tesla doesn't have anything that Toyota doesn't already have. These people are just too caught up in the narrative, too biased against Elon Musk. They're not digging deep enough. They're not thinking it through. They're only looking at the short term. They are not using their brains to really think it through very deeply while putting their emotion aside. That's very important, and yet they're not doing it. Also, aside from being a Tesla stock investor, I do have some business interests in the US, and I do have family that are Americans, and I also have family members that want to come into the US legally, but it's been much easier to come illegally, and people that want to come legally, it's much harder for them. But hopefully that's going to change, which is my personal hope. And I personally believe that the American people really do want talented people to come into the US, invest in the US. And that's just one of the reasons why the people of America gave Trump a crystal clear mandate for change just now. I also like to invest in real estate, and Trump winning definitely is very beneficial for real estate investors in the US. In my stock portfolio, I'm all in Tesla stock, but we have a lot of new people watching, so I want to make the following statement just to be very clear. If you look at public markets, I believe that Tesla stock is going to be one of the best, if not the best, investment when it comes to larger companies. But there are other things that I think are quite a bit better for many people. And with Tesla stock, I always said, do not invest more than what you're willing to lose. So where else do you invest your money? I really believe that the best investment is in yourself, educating yourself, upgrading your skills. Number two is your own business if you are really smart. But you have to be really smart for you to effectively invest in your business, and you have to be extremely dedicated, extremely hardworking. So for most people, that's a big no-no. But if you do have your own business and it's going well, if you can invest in it, it's going to be better than pretty much anything you do. And then number three, I believe personally, is real estate. If you really know what you're doing, I really believe it's an incredibly good investment, especially in the US. In certain countries like in Canada, the US just has so many incentives, bonus appreciation, 1031 exchange, etc., etc., etc. Probably one of the craziest incentives that exists in the US is if you qualify as a real estate professional, and there are certain qualifications you need to meet. But even if you make money from other stuff, you can basically offset any of your income from any source, pretty much, with your write-offs from real estate. And with bonus depreciation, you can write off 60% of the building's value, not the land, but the building's value. Basically, the same year you purchase a property, you purchase, let's say, something for $1 million, and the building is worth $1 million, excluding the land, and you made $600,000 in income from other sources. Maybe you're like a YouTuber or something else, you're a dentist. If you meet certain requirements, and it's not exactly fully straightforward, but it's possible, you basically can take that write-off and pay zero taxes on everything else that you do. Now, of course, you better have a very good accountant if you are trying to do that, because there are many moving parts. But other countries don't offer this incentive, and with Trump, I believe that bonus appreciation is going to stay, and maybe they will even increase it again. So if you are an American, just realize the opportunity that the government is providing to you is absolutely mind-boggling. Canada doesn't do this. European countries don't do this. So I would say real estate is number 3 because you control real estate. With Tesla stock, I believe it's an amazing investment. But if you play your moves right with real estate, it's going to be a lot more stable and you have so many other tax benefits. But that's only if you really know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, stay away. And then, of course, we have Tesla stock. The reason why I didn't put Tesla stock above real estate is because it is very volatile. Real estate, you buy it and it generally doesn't crash once every year, like 50% or something like that. It just doesn't happen. It's stable, it's smooth usually. There are crashes, but it's usually stable and smooth. But if you can handle volatility, Tesla stock is amazing. So number 1, invest in yourself. Number 2, invest in your business. If you have that and you're really smart. Number 3, real estate. If you are an American, if you're not an American, probably no real estate for you unless the government makes it really easy for you to do that sort of business and there's a lot of growth. In many states in America, I believe there's so much growth left for real estate. So it's almost impossible if you buy in the right places not to have massive appreciation in the long term. And then number 4, Tesla stock, if you can handle volatility. If you can handle volatility, I would maybe put Tesla stock quite a bit higher on the list. And another thing that I really like about Tesla stock, with my money in Tesla stock, I don't need to worry about, oh, is plumbing gonna break? There's just, you just put the money in and then you just wait. There's nothing to do, literally. With real estate, you know, people say it's passive income. It's not. It's not really passive income. It's just less work than other income, but you have to have capital to invest. So I wouldn't consider actually that as passive income. Unless you have a partner that does all the managing and all that, then yeah, sure, it can be passive. And check this out. Biden, Harris, DOJ dropped their cases against Trump, and I believe basically they will go away from Elon Musk as well. Elon Musk also admitted that his America PAC massively improved the Republican ground game in the swing states. And here's some good news for Tesla investors. U.S. appeals court clears Elon and Tesla of liability over allegations of misleading investors in 2018. You will see this over and over and over again over the next 12-ish months. Speaking of predictions, I predicted years ago that there would be war in Europe, and that's one of the big reasons why I left before the war started. I saw that coming years before it happened. Like I said, I don't make many predictions, but when I do make important ones, I'm right. And for all my European friends, I really hope that peace is coming. And if you're an American, in terms of taxes and things like that, because all government spending effectively is taxation, either through direct taxation eventually or through inflation, this is actually going to make a huge difference. Remember what Elon Musk did with Twitter when he walked with that sink into Twitter's headquarters? He cut 80% of the workforce, and Twitter, now X, is running flawlessly. Similar things will happen to the government as well. So taxes overall are going to go down in the US, even if the tax rates don't go down that much. Before I got into Tesla stock, I had some crypto, by the way, around 2016-ish is when I bought some. Cryptocurrency investors right now are pretty happy with their Bitcoin holdings. I don't have Bitcoin right now, but if you remember, around here I said if Bitcoin drops about 80% from its all-time highs, I'm very interested and very likely to buy some. Well, in the short term, that seems like a mistake, because if I would have put all my Tesla holdings into Bitcoin, ooh, I would have done incredibly well. However, Tesla stock, I believe, is going to explode, and it's actually backed by cash flow, a real company, real people. So in the long term, I believe that the risk is much lower with Tesla stock. When it comes to feeling the moment, I think actually Dan Ives is pretty good reflecting what the market is actually feeling. And yeah, he says Trump victory is a dream scenario for Tesla. And specifically about the $7,500 EV tax credits and the Inflation Reduction Act and the manufacturing credits for batteries, which Tesla is benefiting greatly from. Well, a lot of that is likely going to go away with the Trump presidency. If you really think about it, it's actually a good thing for Tesla in the long term, because only Tesla is making money, being profitable. Everyone else is losing money. So if you're losing money, now you're going to lose even more money. But for Tesla, it will just make a little bit less money, but it will still be profitable. So other companies will slow down even more, while Tesla can still go after more market share. This is not exactly great for widespread EV adoption in the US, but it is good for Tesla in the long term. Not in the short term, though. I think in the short term, there will be a bit of a slowdown, of course, for Tesla sales as well. But in the long term, I see that as a big positive. Also, even though we heard that the judge, Kathleen McCormick, has not issued her final decision about Elon's compensation package, meaning I think she basically wants to go against us Tesla shareholders again. But because Trump won, this is not going to be an issue. I really believe that now. Even if she goes against us, Tesla investors and Elon Musk, she's going to get crushed overwhelmingly due to support from the highest government office in the United States of America. One of the single biggest blunders that the current president made was not acknowledging Tesla, saying that GM is leading, and then most importantly, not inviting Elon Musk or anyone from Tesla to the EV summit. And Tesla stock investors are making some big predictions. Jason DeBald, multimillionaire, all-in Tesla stock investor, is saying might as well get in on Tesla while it's still below $300 per share. Not sure how much longer this discount will last. A significant amount of risk just vanished overnight. Jason, by the way, historically has made some very good Tesla stock calls. For example, he bought a lot more than Tesla stock got close to $100. He actually mortgaged his house. This was around 2022 December. There was also some immigrant making videos about Tesla stock every day back then and being a lot more excited every time the stock dropped. I'm not sure what that was all about, but sure, the guy turned out to be pretty smart, didn't he? And now let's go through Tesla news specifically. There's some good news. New FSD version is going out to Hardware 4 owners. This includes end-to-end highway driving, smoother stops, fewer bad weather alerts, and safety upgrades. And I really like this. Tesla will soon roll out a new blind spot warning feature where if you try to open a door while an approaching object is detected in your blind spot, for example, a cyclist or something like that, or a vehicle, the blind spot warning light will flash, an audio warning will sound, and, perhaps most importantly, the door will not open on the first press of the button. Press a button again to override the warning. Elon Musk recently sold a little bit more Tesla stock. However, this was all pre-arranged, so I don't see this as a big deal. Of course, not something that I would like to see, but I don't make anything of it really. Tesla has raised the wages of all employees at its Giga Berlin factory by 4% since the start of November. And Tesla actually criticized Biden's plan to ban Chinese tech in cars. Tesla said this adds unneeded regulatory burden on software designed by non-US individuals. So it seems like with this new presidency, this stance is likely going to be reversed. Not guaranteed, but there's a good chance. Oh, and it has now happened. Fellow Canadians, Tesla has brought the 0% interest financing offer to Canada for the Model 3 and Model Y. Like the original offer in the US, you must purchase FSD to get the promotional rate, and probably soon you will not even need to do that, but this could take a little bit of time. 0% is only available on terms up to 48 months, and you must take delivery before January 1st. Now, if you remember, the FSD requirement was dropped less than 2 weeks after this offer launched in the US, so I suspect the same pattern to happen here as well. Maybe not 2 weeks, maybe it's going to be a month, maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months, but I believe it's coming. Tesla China offers Giga Shanghai tour incentive. Domestic customers who ordered a new vehicle through Tesla China's official trade-in service before December 3rd would have the opportunity to win a tour of Giga Shanghai. This is preposterous. After all these years, legacy automakers still can't catch up to Tesla on software. Volkswagen's latest update for ID EVs takes over 5 hours to complete and could break the car if you don't turn the headlights off before installing the update? Seriously? This is just beyond bad. Now, the reason for the problem with the headlights is because the 12-volt battery will die and the car may be bricked by a stalled software update. That's the reason why. But then why wouldn't they just program the vehicle to turn off basically all electronics during the update? Why not do that? We got Tesla deliveries based on the insurance data, and it was actually pretty good. 15,700 Teslas were delivered in the last week, the best week of Q4 so far. Here's the breakdown, and actually comparing the data to the previous quarters, not only was this great overall, this was the best week 5 out of all of the quarters that you can see here on the screen. So Tesla is doing pretty well, at least this week. Tesla is crushing it. We got a lot of cyber trucks waiting to load on to car carriers, the Tesla Giga Texas. So production is going well. I expect production to scale further, of course, now that the Foundation Series has been finished. Joe Rogan showed some serious love for Tesla, the biggest podcaster in the world. Tesla makes other cars feel stupid. If you need any proof for censorship on YouTube, check this out. Joe Rogan's conversation with Elon Musk mysteriously did not appear on YouTube's trending list despite doing millions of views in a matter of hours, and the same happened with the Trump podcast with Joe Rogan as well. This is just blatantly obvious. However, I have noticed since X became bigger, the censorship on YouTube is still here, but it's not as bad as it used to be before. So I sincerely hope, and this might be a little bit naive, but I hope that censorship on YouTube is going to go away completely. Ooh, this is really good news as well. The Model 3 long range with Nova wheels now shows a range of 316 miles, up from 305 miles before. Very good. Tesla is improving service. For example, Tesla is rolling out a new feature in their app that allows you to select an area of concern for service. There's good SpaceX news. So silly though that SpaceX had to file with the FCC again, but with the new president, that's going to change. Things are going to be much better for SpaceX. And SpaceX's Falcon rocket has now completed 400 launches. That's incredible. Today was definitely a historic day for all of us Tesla stock investors, with Tesla stock jumping very roughly 15%. And I am more convinced now than ever that Tesla stock is going to go to $1,000 per share and beyond that. Maybe I should call the show Tesla stock to $1,000. Maybe I should do that. So make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to actually check that you are subscribed. I've seen some comments before saying that people thought they are subscribed, but turns out they're not. So double check that you are subscribed and subscribe if you haven't yet. And I am happy to be on this journey with you to Tesla going to $1,000 per share. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.